And today I am with Jack Dyer from Dyer Family Farms.
Hi, y'all.
And yeah, yours truly is about to get his hands deep up into a chicken because we're doing chicken processing here with the master of chicken processing. Well, he's my mentor, and we're going to see how this works out. I'm going to take my headset off so I don't get things all over that.
All right.
All right.
So
then I'm
we
going to
hope
let you
we
take
don't
it over.
cover him with that much stuff. He's got gloves on. I don't wear gloves. This is not a sit back and watch us do it. This is you guys are going to come up and process chickens, and I'm going to walk you through it. That's the whole purpose of how to learn stuff, is to put your hands on it. So my first volunteer besides Keith is in the blue shirt, right? Are you going to do this?
She looks a little
so
reluctant.
I'll get a couple at a time and we'll start going through this. Are y'all ready? Let's catch some chickens.
All right.
So Keith, we're going to go right here.
Yes, sir.
These are just roosters that we brought from our farm.
Am I catching?
Yeah,
you can catching?
Just grab them by the feet, or I will.
Just like this?
Yep. You want to grab one, or you want? We can wait a minute. Let's wait. Okay. You just grab them by the feet. Yep. That's the easiest way. Hold them upside down. They'll peck you a little bit now. Be careful of that. All right. So this is a trick that I learned on my own. This is not something you'll see on most YouTube, but if you put this over their head, come over here, right over here, we're going to drop the string through. Here's you one.
Come over here and get a hold of this,
Drop the string through. It helps you pull the head down. So you just put it head down, breast to this side.
Okay.
It's easier if you hold the feet, just like that. This just helps you get the head down.
Oh, I see.
All right. Then you pull the string off.
Hang on. I got to go grab my guy here real quick.
Okay. Can't watch this part on YouTube.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Can't watch it on YouTube, guys.
The chicken has a jawbone just like we do, right here. Can everybody hear me? You in the back? Okay. They have a jawbone right here. And what you want to do is put a slit just inside that jawbone, and you hit the jugular on each side. It's the most humane way to dispatch a chicken. Just like that. The cradle, the cone is cradling the chicken, keeping the chicken comfortable. So it's less, I know I already got blood on me, so it's less adrenaline and stuff pumping through the chicken, gives you less tense and more tender meat. So you get a better quality meat by doing that. That's the purpose of the cone. All of us have seen or lived through the trauma of somebody snatching chicken in the yard, wringing its neck. It makes the meat a little bit tougher. So you want, the more humane you can do it, the better it is. And this is not an expensive setup at all. The machines are expensive, but the killing cone setup is not. I call it a retirement wall for YouTube purposes. This is where I retire the chickens at, right? So he's going to kick a little bit, but his heart is pumping all of that out, and that helps you with the meat quality. These are not top quality meat birds that we have today. These are our cold roosters for the purpose. I was going to look into buying and bringing some good top quality meat birds, so show you the kind of meat you could get, because it's top notch. You can't, they're just so stinking expensive, and we're already a lot of money into this, but you're going to leave with the bird today. When you process this bird, it's your bird. I'm not keeping it. Yeah, we'll keep it on ice, and when you leave, you can come grab it and take it with you. All right, so I've got 9 birds, and I don't want any birds left when we're done. All right, fair enough. So you never get in a hurry on this part right here. You want that chicken completely expired before it makes it to the next step. I'm sorry, young man. So you can go ahead and put your ring on there. It's easy, just kind of, there you go. Doesn't have to be tight. So we'll let her do that. Are you comfortable with doing the cut?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh,
Do you want to do it?
yeah.
Another
That's
vendor,
fine.
I don't really want to get one.
You want to do the cut with her for her?
Yeah.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right.
Go ahead and get hers cut. This one's about ready. See, we'll let it finish.
Okay, so you walk me through
Okay. So
what I need to do on the
all
cut
right, so we're
here.
going to remove the string. That's just to get
Okay,
him there.
removing the string.
Reach. You can feel those jawbones.
Yeah.
Right? Face his head to you, his beak.
Head to me.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Kind of like that. Now, feel them jawbones?
I feel the
You're just
jawbone.
going to cut right above them jawbones.
Right
Nope,
above it,
nope, in an angle.
like
Nope,
here.
Here, hang on. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Feel that jawbone right through here and right through here.
Okay.
You got to get deep. There you go. I think they got it. They got it. Next one.
Watch your fingers there, Jack.
Yep, I'm good. I think you're all right there. All right, now just let
I
him
don't
relax.
think it went all the way through, Jack.
It doesn't fit real good in there. Okay, the next step, this is 145-degree water. This is called a scalder. The difference in using a scalder and a turkey fryer is about 3 hours on 100 birds. So I recommend if you ever going to do a lot of birds that you get a scalder because of that. And the reason is, put that on, that's a heat-resistant glove. We're going to dip the bird in the scalder. You all right? Here, you want to spray that? That's just a right-handed glove. We're going to dip the bird in the scalder, and you just work it up and down until the water works underneath the feathers, and that helps the feathers turn loose. The scalding does. So it's 145 degrees is what you want your temperature. Normally, when we're done with this, we would have the bird soaking on ice, overnight ice water. Also helps let the rigor muscle relax, and you get more tender meat. Again, it's another step to help you get tender meat. Today, because of time restraints, we're going to go ahead and sack the bird, but the water won't be hot enough to do the shrink wrap bags, so it's going to be a loose bag. But the shrink wrap bags will shrink in the same scalder at 185 degrees. Generally, you got it the next day before you do that. So anyway, it's welcome in, you guys. Good to see y'all. If y'all don't know, y'all need to catch them right there. And your name's escaping me right. Glory, yeah.
Glory Hills.
Glory Hills Homestead.
Yeah.
So anyway, this step, we're going to get the feathers loosened up with the hot water. That's what we're doing. Keith, if you want to grab that bird.
This one?
Yep.
Yep.
Want to make sure, you always want to make sure that chicken's completely expired, because a chicken in hot water don't like it, and he will burn you and everybody else.
So now I need to.
So you're going to keep him, feet and all, just hang on to his feet, just work him up and down in the water. For about 45 seconds, you work him up and down in the water. Get the feet and everything underneath. Go underneath with the feet. That's the purpose of the hot glove. So they make a plunger type deal where you can do that, but I don't have one. Couple more. And then you check a wing feather. All right, bring him up. Check a wing feather. If it pulls out easy, you're ready. If it don't, you go back in. So he's not coming out easy. Keep dunking it. Try to keep it mostly under the water and just work it up and down. And the feet too. Get the feet in there. Just don't dip the glove. Dipping the glove wouldn't be good.
Oh, up here?
All right. Yeah. Just get them on down there.
I'll try a feather.
Let's try another feather. So those come out pretty easy. This bird's ready. So this is a plucker. And you can come up and look, it's got little black finger nipples in there. It spins at the bottom. Step on that pedal right there, Keith. I put a foot control on mine, and it makes all the difference. You want to put control, and you have water squirting in there. You always want it spinning before you drop the bird in, but go ahead and drop your bird in now.
Just drop it.
Yep, just drop it in there. Sometimes I add extra water. You don't have to have the extra water, but it does help a little bit. Okay, go ahead, quit that. And then you have a mostly naked chicken. So the next step is to catch all the excess feathers. You're just going to go around and pull the excess. You can continue to soak and put it in the plucker until these feathers come off. Too long in the scalder will cause the bird to come apart in the plucker, so you don't want to do too much in the scalder. That's why you, as soon as you know them wing feathers are turning loose easy, that's why you go ahead and start processing. And then you just pick them
clean.
All the extra. You don't have to get it perfectly clean, because your perfectly clean is right before you cook the bird. You pull it out of freezer camp, and you're going to put it into your ministry. You know, start getting that bird into your health. That's when you make sure every little detail is clean and you're ready to cook. So the first thing I do after this is take this bird, and I'm going to pull the head off. I pull the head off as opposed to cutting the head off for one reason: bone shards. If you cut the head off, you run a chance of getting bone shards in your meat. If you pull the head off, you never get bone shards. So catch it right here, just right in them jaws, and pull hard. And it'll just pop off. I got a trash can right there. That cone is edible. I've never tried it. People use that for like Chinese medicine and stuff. But it's supposed to be pretty healthy, and it's like a cartilage. I've never tried it. I thought I would someday, but when you're in the midst of 100 chickens and you got 6 hours of work ahead of you to do 100 chickens, I'm not interested in harvesting that cone at that point. So the next step I do is there is an oil gland right here on the tail, on the back of the tail. Looks like kind of like a little feather quill sticking out backwards. We just slice that off pretty easily. I'm gonna do this part if that's all right.
Bud. Yeah.
Just kind of slice that off. Clean it up a little.
Now this is yellow that we're looking at right now. Is that part of what's coming out?
It's yellow. That's the oil gland you can see. Some people take the whole tail, and that's okay too. I don't, because that's fat in your bone broth and things like that. This particular chicken, as you can see, doesn't have a lot of breast, right? There's a little breast meat there. This is perfect for bone broth or chicken soup. This is not your flay out breast chicken, right? So we're gonna take this now. Inside the chicken's neck, most of the time it's on the chicken's right side, right here in the neck is their crop. That's where they initially break their food down when they eat it. So we gotta cut in here and loosen that crop from the neck so that it'll come out when we viscerate from the back end. So the next step is right here. You just make a little slit right there. Open it up. I got big hands, y'all. My knives aren't the best either today. Very hard to see, but you see that stuck to the side there? All of that comes loose. So you work your fingers.
Right in here.
Yep, work your fingers around and pull all of that out. Go ahead. We'll let him do it. You want to start yours over here in the scalder. Just go in, feet and all under. Just keep dipping it.
It's all of this stuff right here, Jack, right?
Yep. You got
more in there?
let's get back here. All of that, just pull it out. See that bladder looking thing right there?
All this too right here?
Yep.
Okay.
See this bladder?
Uh-huh.
I'm getting my fingers under it. Can y'all see that? That's the crop. You just work your fingers around it. It's attached to the skin and to the neck. But this little bag, that's it. You don't feed your chickens for 24 hours before you process them. Otherwise, that'll be full of some nasty bird squat, right? It's bird squat that hadn't made it to the other end yet. You don't want to mess with all of that. So then you just keep working that loose from the skin and from the neck, just like that. And what you wind up with is it just loose. It's loose now. That chicken just crowed. Y'all hear that? It's loose now, so you just leave that hanging. We're going to take the feet out. I'll do the first one and let you do the second one.
Okay.
You're going to take the feet off. This one could have soaked just a little bit longer. You just hold pressure against the back of that foot. My knife, let's try this other knife. That is incredibly good bone broth right there. Lots and lots of good collagen. This bird didn't soak as long in the hot water with the feet. Keith didn't know, but the feet, if you get the feet in the water constantly, I'll show you on the next bird. Is that one ready? Yeah, you can. The skin will peel off and you're left with a naked foot. I wouldn't touch a chicken foot for years because I didn't know that. I was like, I'm not eating anything associated with what's been walking around in chicken squat its whole life. Because if you ever watched a chicken, they're not clean animals, right? They're feathered pigs. That's what I call them, feathered pigs. But when that all peels off, including the toenail will peel off with it. So you're left with a totally clean piece of the chicken that never met the chicken squat. But today, for purposes, we're just going to dispose of it. You got to keep it moving. The bird can get hung up in there. You got to keep it moving. But Keith, go ahead and take that. Hold good pressure this way.
Okay, and that's right in that joint area,
find
right?
that joint. So you got your drumstick joint here to here.
Okay.
You want it right in behind.
Right in behind that.
A good knife, just light pressure. My knives are kind of dull after yesterday, and I didn't sharpen them good. You shouldn't have to pressure that much. Keep bending.
Okay, there it is.
There you go. Go
I
right
see
on
it.
in that joint.
Yeah.
And now come from the bottom. A really sharp knife, you can just right through it. But I should have maintained my knives a little better last night. You can see part of that skin is coming off. That's what I'm talking about. It peels completely off.
Like a shell.
The entire foot, like a shell. All right, next step. We got a naked chicken back there. Next step. You want to slip right here. There's the skin, and then there's a membrane. You want to cut through the skin and the membrane, but not into the guts. Good firm push. Did you get through?
Is
both?
it the membrane yet?
All right, let's see what you got now. Can you get your fingers in there?
I think so.
Get under that. Nope. The membrane's still
Oh,
in there.
they're still there.
I see it.
Yep, see that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Pull that breastbone up.
There it is.
You cut me, I'm going to bleed on you.
No, man, I'm going to be careful with you. And me.
All right. A little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't want to stab into the guts because there's a little thing in there. What is it called, Dina? The green sac. But the bile duct.
How about that right there,
You
Jack?
don't want to break the bile duct. So what you do is you just get it to where you get your fingers in there, and then just for demonstration purposes, I'll do it. You get your fingers in there and you make it big enough to put your hand in. You don't want to cut that because then you run a risk of cutting that bile duct. So your hand is going to go in right. Are you all right if I do this?
Yeah.
Your hand is going to go in, and you're going to come down right in front of that breastbone, right down inside. And remember that thing? That's going to come out with you. The crop and everything should come out as you viscerate this chicken. So as you're going in, you're separating the membrane between the chest cavity and the actual entrails. And you're just going right on up to the front, right down into here. My fingers are up here, a couple of fingers, and you can bring the whole thing out together. I even got one lung. I got both lungs. That's pretty good. Normally you have to get the lungs by themselves. So now here's that crop that we loosened up front, right? So that came out. There's a couple of things we want to harvest here that are good to eat. One is the heart. Put the heart aside. The other is the liver and the gizzard. That's the gizzard. You can pull them loose. I cut it loose just to be quick. The liver is really, really soft organ meat, so you pinch it off. And you don't want to get in a hurry because that little guy right there, that's the bile duct. If you bust that, everything it touches needs to just go to the compost bin. Yes, chicken feathers is some of the best compost you can get. So we compost everything normally. We won't here today. Unless some of y'all want to take a doggy bag home, I'll send it with you. But anyway, I just pinch that soft organ tissue right below that bile duct and separate it. Like that, we got 2 liver lobes there. I'm gonna get a rinse here right quick. All right, the rest of this is trash. Some people like to eat the kidneys. I've never tried it. I rank it right up there with that cone. I don't really have the time. So what do y'all call that little round thing underneath its tail? It's the vent. It's what it's called on a chicken. It's called the vent, right? Sprinkler is the same thing. We're going to hold these up and just cut a horseshoe round right around that vent if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm. So going all the way around this right here, Jack, right? All the way under.
You got a hip bone right here.
Yeah.
Hip bone right here. You're going to cut a horseshoe right around that.
Oh, just that section,
yep,
right?
Just right in there. It's right around. You don't want to pull a chicken out and have a vent looking at you, right? You pull it out of the freezer, it should be ventless.
Jack, please examine my work.
He has devented the chicken. That's exactly what you want. Now there's a little bit of fat buildup on the backbone. You can clean that out at this point, or you can do it when you get it out ready to prepare. And I like to pull it out now when I can. That's everything. This great compost. Bury it, or your chickens will dig it up and try to eat it. Like I said, they're feathered pigs, y'all. So this chicken just needs rinsed off, but first, let's look at the gizzard. The gizzard is where they do the final processing of their food before they turn it into chicken meat, right? So gizzard is shaped like a little oyster, or a clam, not an oyster. You literally hold it on edge and slice into it, and inside the gizzard, you'll find whatever that chicken's been eating. So we haven't fed these chickens. That's all chicken feathers where they've been picking on each other. You'll find grit and things like that in there. But inside the gizzard is a yellow, waxy skin that has to be peeled off. Sometimes it's a pain to get started. But you peel that. Sorry, I'm doing all this for you.
No, it's okay. Time.
It's a waxy, really kind of tough feeling skin. This one don't want to cooperate. That gizzard just needs a little rinse and it's ready for the frying pan. One of my favorite parts of the chicken. So now we got the gizzard, the livers, and the heart. I'm going to package them. This is not what I normally do. I package them. When you do 100 birds, I keep all the gizzards together, all the livers together, all the heart. Well, I put the hearts with the livers. But for this sake, this purpose, he's going to be taking this bird home if he wants to. We're going to put
My wife would say yes.
We're going to put it right in the cavity here. But first, I'm going to rinse the bird off. Just a second.
Right.
So I have a drying rack that this would go right into the ice water this way for 24 hours if we had the time. We don't have the time. Just like that, in ice water. Pick a few extra feathers if you want. But what that does is relax that rigor muscle I was telling y'all about, and you get a little more tender meat still yet. But because of time, we're going to go ahead and bag it today. One thing I like to do, put a little slit right here, just a little slit in the end of that skin, and you tuck the legs in.
Wow.
So that chicken is now ready to go to freezer camp. And we're going to pop this right in there, lay that there. This is a shrinking bag. Always put the neck and breast end down. At this point, I would put a straw down in the bag, gather the bag up around the straw, and put a zip strap around it.
What's the purpose of the straw?
You leave the straw in there because when you come over, now mind you, this would be the next day, so my scalder's at 145 degrees for plucking temperature. It would be at 185 degrees, and I would sink this whole bird with the straw sticking out the top down in there, and the bag will compress around the bird. It shrink wraps, and the straw lets all the water out. All the air out of it, so that you get a good tight seal around the bird. Then you pop the straw out, finish sealing up the zip strap, and it looks like a store-bought bird at that point. You just trim off your extras and put it in the freezer. So that is ready. Keith, you've done a good job right here. Come over here, Keith. Over here.
Okay.
Let you around front. Take one of these, put your name on it, and put it on the bag. I'm going to pass this around. There is an exemption called a PL 9492 in the state of Oklahoma that allows you to process and sell so many chickens. There's a few rules around that, like your processing facility needs to be on concrete and things like that.
Just like that.
But check that out.
Okay.
It's 1,000 birds a year when I started, and I've heard rumor and hadn't confirmed it that it's now 20,000 birds a year you can sell this way. That is a business if you wanted to be in it, and that is a good business because that bird that he just finished processing, we're just going to put it on ice for now, but I'll pass that around and let y'all look at it. It's called a PL 9492. That's the exemption you want to look at. That bird, a comparable bird at Whole Foods or somewhere, that's a $30 bird. The meat bird, not the rooster that we just called. A true meat bird, that's a $30 bird if you had to go buy it. So that's the value you have. And you can buy those birds right now as chicks, depending on how many you buy, but roughly $1 to $1.50 a piece. If you go to the wrong hatchery, they're $2 and $3, depends on where you buy them. But the guys that are in the business are buying hundreds every week. They're getting them around $1. and you can do like I did for a while and attach yourself to a guy like that and get the same price, right? Have him buy your birds and bring them to you, give him a little gas money. That's what we do. We don't do the Cornish cross anymore. The Cornish cross is a great meat bird, don't get me wrong, but I can't reproduce it on my farm because it's a three-way it's a three-way cross done in a what do you call laboratory. It's done. It's something we can't do on the farm. I can't cross 3 chickens together. I probably could if I spent the time to study.
You need to tell me you need to make sure your water's clean, scalding water to do your bags.
Yeah. She was reminding you the water gets really dirty when you're doing the plucking, but when you do the scalding bags, you want clean water. You won't change the water overnight. That's for sure, because it gets pretty nasty. These birds are feathered pigs. So what I want now is who's next. One of you come grab a bird. We're going to get her going, and we'll just work through. Keith, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate
you.
you.
Swap this mic.
Yeah, I'm going to
Take your mic and
just want to say thank you to Jack from Jack Dyer, or from Dyer Family Farms, for allowing us to see what the real process looks like. And until next time, keep it local.
Absolutely. Keep it local.